for being a part of me. Thank you for seeing the stars in me. Oh, this is everything I thought it'd be. You just figured out the parts of me. Oh no, I never thought it'd go like this, but life ain't about coordinates. So whoa, and a love like this is hard to find. And even if I die tonight, oh I love you, oh I love you, and I swear that I'll be there for you, even with my attitude. Summer nights turn to winter fights, feeling cool and we're not alright.
I thought she was strange. I thought she's like, who's this like gothic girl who does MMA and modeling and like, you know, thinks she's hot shit and blah blah blah. And I didn't know what to think, and I totally had judgment. And then when I met Nicdali, yes, she's gothic, yes, she does MMA and she thinks she's hot shit, but she's awesome, and I love that she thinks she's hot shit. I love that confidence. I love you know, her personality. I love that she's unique and she's not afraid to be who she is. And so I definitely didn't think that we would gel as much as we did. I didn't think that I would enjoy her as much as I did. I definitely had stupid judgments, and that was just to show you that you shouldn't have judgments about people just by the way that they look, because I was completely wrong about who I thought she was, and I think she's awesome. I think Nicdali was an awesome training partner. She always gave me the intensity that I needed. She always, you know, matched my intensity. She was not someone that would, you know, try to necessarily rip your head off, but, you know, bring that intensity in like a safe manner. I never got hurt training with her. I never had any issues. I never felt like she was being, you know, mean or vindictive or anything while we were training. She was, you know, she's got awesome technique, and just love the tenacity, love the way that she brought it to me every time we sparred, and then drilling. She was always, you know, focused and fun to work with, and just, yeah, great training partner.
I remember meeting Nicdali. One of my first professional debuts, she was actually the commentator for the fight, and you know, she spoke a lot good things about me during the fight. I didn't really know her, but I heard her interviews, and I believe shortly either after my first fight or my second fight, we finally got in contact. She was talking to me and stuff, and pretty much, you know, I listened to her since then, and yeah, it's been a fun adventure since after my pro debut, which was 2010 or 11, I believe, one of those two. It was the most phenomenal time we've ever trained together. Was in New York, Central Park. We thought we ran the whole thing, but it was literally like maybe a quarter of it. It was probably by far one of the greatest experiences ever. She was asking around who wanted to work out with her. Nobody wanted to work out. And again, this was all traveling wise during fighting and stuff. And yeah, I got to hang out with her, and we got to work out in New York, which is a great memory that I will never forget. There's no other girl that I've trained with, you know, any other gym that's as tough as Nicdali. And you know, she's small. She may play the part like she's so innocent. Once you get her on the ground and you start throwing hands with her, you better watch out. Those little fists and all her jiu-jitsu moves, they start clicking little by little. And she's strong as hell. And people don't see that. People don't know that. I think, oh my God, Nicdali's so beautiful. Yeah, don't get her pissed off. She knows how to unleash the beast when she has to.
I feel like Nicdali's like pretty well rounded. Like I said, she's tough, man. She's as tough as they come. I mean, she bangs with all of us. You know, I don't think she ever takes really a step back. she could take it. She has great jiu-jitsu, she has great wrestling, she has great boxing. I don't think necessarily anything specifically that I could see where it's like, I mean, I'm a lot bigger than her, so I mean, I could hold her down, I could take her down, but other than that, I mean, people her size, I feel like she's good.
Nicdali as a fighter she prefers to be a striker, but she's been working on her jiu-jitsu continuously for the past 2 years. Nicdali is very creative. She's a compassionate person. She makes me laugh, and because sometimes she's serious, and then sometimes she comes up with these jokes, and it's like, oh, where did that come from?
I think as a fighter, she always comes to fight. That's not the issue. The biggest issue Nicdali ever has is getting past the scale, just because making weight's a pain in the ass. But as far as her as a fighter, like, she's always going to show up to fight, and she's always going to find the best fight she can.
My first impression, I think, you know, you see her online, she's like this cute little goth girl, cute clothes, cute outfits, and then you see her in the gym and it's like a whole different person. She's a little monster, little redheaded monster that's coming to take your head off. I feel like Nicdali is a very, very game opponent. She is so tough. She hits really freaking hard for her size. She has very well-rounded. She's got great grappling, wrestling, striking. She's good.
I know Nicdali because I've been a fan of fighting my whole life. I used to box just out of high school and all through college, and my dad was always a big fan also since UFC 1, since it was kind of a crazy circus at that time, and I've always been a fan. And we get all the pay-per-views when I was a kid. We got all the UFC pay-per-views and would re-rent them from Blockbuster and stuff like that, and local video stores, and then, you know, obviously later when women's MMA started happening, I was paying attention. I had already had my finger on the pulse of what was happening in mixed martial arts and in all the organizations, and so when I saw women's MMA happening, of course I gravitated to it. It was a crazy time, and Nicdali was easily noticeable at that time. With her fights, you know, she was highly touted and was aggressive, and all those women stood out to me when I was watching those fights, like in those different organizations, like Invicta and the other ones that were around, some smaller ones even. So yeah, I noticed her pretty quickly when Gina Carano had stepped out, as you know.
You know, Nicdali, she's like my big sister. She's family to me now. She's grown on me a lot. You know, she's been through the ringer a lot. Like I tell everybody, she has more of the professional fights than I do. And you know, Nicdali, like I said, she's a sister to me. She's always gonna be a sister. She tells me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and she'll always tell me straight up. She won't hold nothing back, because that's what big sisters do.
Nicdali is a very strong, independent woman. She's definitely a pioneer of the MMA community for the females. She's very hardworking, and I enjoy training with her.
She fights like she flips that switch, you know, and she has zero aggression as a friend. She's like super chill, and you know, I mean, really, like, isn't talking about fighting that much, kind of like me. Like, I'm not really talking about what I do all the time in conversation. We talk about a bunch of other stuff, you know. There's always other topics and other things going on, but yeah, she's very low-key and docile and chill, and as a friend. And then in fighting, you know, that fire plug kind of like run and gun, blitzkrieg kind of fighting style that she has, you know, that's totally different from her real personality.
When I first knew or heard of Nicdali, I knew she was friends with Misha Tate, and she was fighting Felice Herod back in XFO, and she was spunky. She was not intimidated at all by Felice, and I think they had some good little tension building up to that fight, a little trash talking, and that led up to them having what is, kicked off one of the most viral weigh-in stare-down photos that happened before women were even into sport. So, Nicdali and Felice were pioneers, and this was back in the XFO, and I think that picture is still one of the most viewed weigh-in photos on the internet. Nicdali, over the years, we've kind of stayed in touch, and I've watched her. I've always respected her hustle. She's always been, pushing herself forward in her career, and we've got a lot of mutual friends in the sport. She took, it looked like she took some time off, and then when she called us up, I talked to my partner Brian Hamper, and he immediately put in a call to also Misha, and I've become friends with Misha over the years as well, and Misha was obviously speaking very highly of her, and then